What's up, everybody? Sorry, I'm running a little bit behind. It's one of those crazy days. I'm going to check something real quick before I get started here. Yeah, that looks good. All right. Anyways, how's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing well out there. I know it's been hot and muggy. We were supposed to get rain today. No rain, of course. It just looked like it was going to rain pretty much all day. But let me say hello to some of you folks before we get started. And I do have some important announcements to make, folks, that you may want to know about. I had a nice long conversation up to about 5 minutes ago with a good friend of mine. All right, so let's back this up. Good to see you, Nate, JT, Yarn Prepper, Beretta Vandy, Okie Khan, coffee first. I got my coffee for sure. What's up, B Walker? Good to see you as well. Harvey Black, Little Lone Prepper, Lori in Oklahoma, Voodoo Queen is in the house. Kathleen Ralston, good to see you as well. Who else do we have? Did I get you, Lori in Oklahoma? I see Little Lone. Who else do we got? Let me scroll down a little bit. If I do miss anybody, I do apologize. Good to see you. I think I see JT in the house as well. TM Prep Relating. I probably should get some glasses, right? Even though this is a big enough screen. Mama Bear J15. Let me see. I got you, Nate. Let me see. Who else do we have in here? KB's in the house. Good to see you. Scrolling on down. Dominic, delete Spiato. I like that one. Minuteman 69. Yeah, right. Minuteman. I've been warning folks about that they're going to push the good old monkey for quite some time, and now all the states are, of course, dropping these declarations and whatnot. But I knew that was going to happen, and that's why I kind of did that video a while back and gave you guys an option just in case it turns out to be something a little bit more than we expect, right? Good to see you, KC. Always good to see you in chat. Teresa D, Jan, Viv B. I'm trying to, let me see who else we got. Alien Prepper has beamed down from the mothership to hang out with us as well. Thank you, Alien Prepper. Good to see you, man. Who else? I'm trying to scroll fast as I can to catch up because I know some of you folks out there just want to get to the gist of it, right? Queekney, I see you in there. Good to see you. Rita Hunter. And I'm trying to get up close and personal with this screen here. Big Dog, what is up? I think I said what's up to all the mods in here. I think I got all my mods. Rena LaRue, good to see you as well. Oh, there he is. Good to see you, Dobby. You see Michelle Mittens in the house. Good to see you as well, Michelle. Hope you're doing well up there in Michigan. I know you guys got those preliminary primaries per se going on over there. Get out and vote, folks. Get out and vote. Most people don't vote in the primaries. Most people don't vote. They wait for the presidential election and they don't vote for the primaries. If you want people to, if you want someone that you like to run your state, you might want to get out and vote. I think Arizona got something going on. There's a few places out there. What's up, Colleen Rich, Michelle, Rucker? Let me see. Pepper Prepper, good to see you. Marie N, good to see you as well. Raptor Ranch, Mary Beth, Joyce Tara, Don't You Know, Rock Prep 11, Butch Graves, The Celtic Grandma Sunset, RG71, Craig Friedrich, Ice 124, Smiling Wolf, Karen Murphy. I think, did I get you, Allison? I hope I did. Mama Bear, good to see you as well. Raka, Nightfall Homestead, Maria N, Rita Hunter, Penny Dyer, Bonnie Bethel. So many amazing people in here. So many. Bitter Critter, I see you popping in there as well. I think I got Moonface. Always good to see you. Carol, trying to say Yoshi's mom. Good to see you in a live stream of all places. Mrs. Terry, thank you for being here as well. Drew Blood. And I think I got most people. I see Mark there. Mark, I got Colleen. Fred Petros, good to see you. Scott Hummer. And Valerie H. And Mary Beth. Did I get you, Raptor Ranch? Karen Murphy, Easy Peasy, and all the rest of you. Van Roo, thank you all for being here. Unknown Vector, Stealth Mode. Good to see all of you folks. So thank you. Thank you for joining us on this live stream. Appreciate this stuff like that. And we're going to talk about what should we fear and why in regards to emergency preparedness. But, folks, I want to give you an announcement first. Thank you, Never Done Prepping. Good to see you as well. Dragon Slayer, see you popping in there. All in all, for the announcements, as I just got off the phone with the Alaska Prepper. Some of you folks may know him as Rudy, he is doing well. He's doing well. And we did clarify, me and Rudy this Thursday, we'll be going live together for real this time. We're going to be going live at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know it's late, but it's early for Rudy on my late show on Thursday night. So if you want to see Rudy in a live stream before Friday, join us on Thursday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Myself and the Alaska Prepper will be going live. And we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. We're not going to focus in too much about the whole the tube situation. We want to kind of push that behind us. Rudy will be dropping a video tomorrow. Everything is moving forward. It'll be back to the OG, which is a payday prep. So make sure you go there and tune into Rudy's channel tomorrow. He'll be dropping that video, and he has a lot of more intriguing and informative information coming out here soon. So Rudy, the Alaska Prepper, will be back on his channel tomorrow and live with me on Thursday. So join us then, and we'll have lots of fun. Anytime we have Rudy on the channel, it's always a great time. Exactly, Unknown Vector. A lot of people have been asking me questions. Everybody's been extremely supportive, and I truly appreciate that. Whenever someone in the community gets into a situation like that, all we can do is try to support them to the best that we can. And I want to make sure I didn't miss that. There we go. I had my little monitor here so I can see chat a little bit better. But all in all, I wanted to get that information out there so that you guys will know Rudy will be back, and we'll be live 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to share that out, let folks know that. And then Friday, he will be doing his live as well. So we'll get lots of Alaska Prepper here moving forward starting tomorrow. I know it seems like forever, right? Anyways, folks, thank you, Teresa D. I appreciate that. We'll have to stay up. Thanks, Big Dog. I appreciate that. I know some folks like myself, we work and we get up early, but got to make time for Rudy. Anyways, folks, the reason I put that thumbnail together with the whole nuclear bomb exploding in the background and the person looking at, why, what should we fear? Kind of like, why should we fear it? The thing is, folks, I want to be completely honest with you. Initially, I wasn't even going to go live, but I figured this is a topic I need to discuss because there's a lot of folks that send me emails in regards to, hey, Grey, what am I going to do if we go to war with China, we go to war with Russia, and the bombs start dropping? Well, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, folks. If it ever comes to an exchange of a nuclear exchange, there's not much that we can do. You know what I mean? We're doing as much as we can do right now. Is just everyday prepping, every day, getting our food, our medical, all that stuff together, right? So you don't want to put yourself into a situation where there's a consistent fear in your life. Matter of fact, what is emergency preparedness to you? You know what I mean? And I have it here. It says emergency preparedness means the mitigation of preparation for response to and recovery from emergencies or disasters. So far beyond a nuclear exchange with, world powers, a lot of us are in this community because we're preparing for everything. And what I mean by everything is, from the small to the large. And when it comes to something of that magnitude, no matter how much fear porn there's out on YouTube, there's out in the mainstream media, and I know some of you folks may not be religious, but it'll come down to God at that point. If there's something that devastating to our country and the world, you know what I mean? So what is fear? You know what I mean? And fear is one of humanity's greatest psychological issues in regards to weakness and the fear of the unknown. You know what I mean? And a lot of folks get sidetracked by fear. And what I want you folks to think is, yes, you want to have some sort of amount of fear. Fear keeps you on your toes. Fear keeps you aware, especially with situational situations. That kind of might have made sense there, but situational awareness in general, because a little bit of fear is good, but you don't want to let it consume your life. That's a huge thing. When people let fear consume their life, it can kind of really degrade your quality of life, your mental stability, and things like that. If you're always worried that the world is going to collapse tomorrow. And a lot of us think about this because we're preppers, you know what I mean? We're homesteaders, we're preppers. Some of us are off-gridders, survivalists, and the list goes on. But the thing is, folks, is we need to really, truly hone in and focus on what we can control, specifically, in our lives, you know what I mean? Because if we're constantly worrying about the end of the world as you know it, you know what I mean? That creates a situation that's going to consume your life too much. It's going to take away from life with your family. It's going to take away life from, let's say, your work and other things. And that's the last thing you want to do. What I suggest that you do, and this is from my opinion only. What's up, Arkansas Whoop-Ass? Good to see you. Is it's simple. enjoy every day like it's your last. A lot of people don't do this, because we're always everything is controlled by time. You know what I mean? The wife is always telling me, man, I just don't have enough time to do this. Time, we run out of time. She gets a day off, and on her day off, before she knows it, she has to go back to work. A lot of folks have probably dealt with that in the past or currently dealing with that now. So we're restricted by time. So if we let fear consume us, it takes away from stuff like that we want to do. Let's say we want to do some gardening, which is my happy space. Being in the garden is a happy space for me. Being out in the woods, going out for hikes, those are some happy spaces for me, and just being with family. Also, in general, being with you, the YouTube community, is a happy space for me. Sometimes if I'm not feeling so good and I'm not just feeling 100%, coming on here and having a live stream, reading your guys' comments is awesome. And I truly appreciate that. It brings gratitude to my life, and it just makes that much more of a better day for myself. Idaho Mike, yes, exactly. You have to use your time wisely. And that's a good point, Idaho Mike, is every day when you wake up, how many of you folks actually have a plan out for your day? And I don't mean, the old school planner, which some people may use, but having a plan, what do you want to get done today? What do you want to get done over the next week, over the next month, and over the next year? That's why I always kind of bounce back to that whole thing of creating a plan, because that's super important. Because a lot of us will get so focused on the news. What has been consuming the airways right now? China, Nancy Pelosi. Those are the two things that are basically consuming the airwaves right now. You're having the bicker back and forth between Republicans and Democrats. And there's some folks that will turn on the news at 6 a.m. and drink their coffee and sit there and watch the news until they fall asleep. That's not a good thing, folks. My dad he gets locked into that whole situation sometimes because he's worried that he's going to miss something. But what I told him is what you're really missing on is life. You don't want to watch the boob tube 24 hours, 7 days a week, because it's just going to eat away and just kind of give you that feeling of unease. You know what I mean? Because the news is always going to promote as much negativity as possible because it draws the attention of the American viewers. It draws the views, just like YouTube. If I was to sit here and tell you, hey, everybody's going to die tomorrow. If you don't do this or you don't do that, you're going to die. People, they gravitate towards that, to that fear. You know what I mean? That's not what I want to do. I want everybody to enjoy life and enjoy being a prepper or a homesteader or whatever that you may, classify yourself as. Roger that, Minute Man. I just saw that and I just popped in my on my comment section. But where was I at? Now I got distracted by Minute Man, as I always do. But we need to God, where was I at, man? Now I lost my train of thought. Thanks, Minute Man. You ruined the whole live stream. No, I'm just kidding, brother. I get so hyper focused on what I'm talking about. Sometimes I lose my place. American Country Boy, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Anyways, news and getting lost and that kind of stuff like that is that people are missing out on life. How often do you get to, spend time with your loved ones? When you come home from work, you got to shower, you got to eat dinner, you want to maybe catch a TV show. How much time do you talk to your wife? How much time do you talk to your children? How much do you engage with them? When you go out to the garden, are the grandkids inside playing video games? Should you bring them outside and try to get them, involved in the gardening aspect? You know what I mean? Because that's what I miss the most. My mother was a huge into canning, and I blew that off. I'm like, Mom, I don't care about canning and pressure canning. Sure. And then all I felt was like, I'm going to have to do more work. I'm going to have to snap some peas. I'm going to have to do this for her. I looked at it as a chore, not as a learning experience. And I kind of went away from that. And then when it regards to gardening with my stepfather and my mother, they did a lot of gardening in Michigan. And I just wanted to go out and, go hunting and fishing, which is another great skill to learn. But there's things that I could have learned a lot from them if they maybe either engage with me more and I engage with them more. So building those relationships is huge outside of, just saying, hey, I want you to come in the garden. I want you to watch what I'm doing. It's just like, make it fun, make it entertaining, outside of just staring at, some sort of, tablet and playing a game or something like that. And they're just like stuck on this thing and they just can't, and you're talking to them and they don't even look away. They're like, yeah, no. It's horrible what technology has done to our youth. And they talk a lot about depression. They talk a lot about anxiety. And it seems like everyone between the ages of like 8 and 15 have depression, have anxiety, have some sort of disorder, right? And I think it's more geared towards social media and the things that they see on specific platforms. You know what I mean? They hyper focus so much on that that it's telling them that you should look this way, you should eat this way, this is what you should think, this is how you should do it. And their minds are so impressionable that that's all the education that they're getting outside of we as parents should be more hyper focused on our children, as well as even our husbands and wives and rest of our families. Because even the older generation are stuck on their phone. I will go to a restaurant and sit down with my family and, we'll have a no phone rule. We'll say, all electronics, put them on silent, put them in your purse, your pocket, wherever you may, leave them in the car for all that. And, we're going to have a dinner as a family, even though we're going out. But then when you look and you kind of look around the room, all these other families, there's just people stuck on their phones. Just the last, Sunday after the premiere, me and the wife went out to dinner. We went to a nice place. We got to look at the water, look at nature, look at beauty. Being that I'm in Florida, the weather in the evening was nice. And as I looked around, I saw these two kids with these huge, almost, it looked like laptops in front of them. And the parents were sitting there drinking. And the two kids were like just staring at these screens while they're having dinner. And I'm like, where has society gone at this point? It's just, hey, Annie Oakley, good to see you. Good to see you as well, Sharon, Independent Many United. Exactly, big dog. And it's a crazy thing to see. And then once you open up your eyes and you start being more paying attention to what's going on, and your kids, this is a horrible situation for most parents these days. If you're a parent. Maybe you're a grandparent and you deal with this because the parents work so much. But, when the kid comes up to you and says, hey, mom or dad, I think I'm schizophrenic, or I think I'm suffering from depression. And you're like, well, why do you feel that way? And they explain to you, social media told me. The folks on TikTok told me that if I'm experiencing these things, then I'm depressed. It's just like what we used to do back in the day. Remember when we used to search up, your finger starts hurting and you go to look up WebMD and it tells you basically your finger's going to fall off and you have cancer. And then you start freaking out. It's kind of like that, but on steroids when it comes to social media. What's up, Survival Buzz? Good to see you. Carol, that is insane to see a 2-year-old with a cell phone. It just, that mind blown, at that point. What's up, Crazy Cuban Chicken Lady? Maria? Anyways, folks, good to see you, Potato Head. Saw you popping in there. William Pence, the uniprepper, like that. Technology is destroying the family unit. 100%. 100%. Good to see you, Annette Spain. William Pence. Just Fluffy Otter. Good to see you as well. Trying to catch some of you folks. What's up, Diabetic Prepper? Good to see you. Really, I'll have to check that video out. Good to see you, Marilyn. Glad you made it. Let me see, what does Unknown Vector got here? Water sources, food seeds, medical, Pew Freedom Seeds, equipment, precious metals, communications, power, fuel, knowledge and information, mag, people, and team. And yes, Unknown Vector, you touch on a lot of great points there. It's funny sometimes when I talk about precious metals to the prepping community, and a lot of folks don't have faith in the precious metals because they don't see it as something that they should put their money into. A lot of people will focus on food, which is important, water, which is important, medical, and there's a lot of other things that are important. But eventually, if things ever really truly go south, folks, I mean, theoretically, if you look at history, Russia has fallen and then rebuilt. China has fallen, then rebuilt. If you look at history, I'm talking about all of history. A lot of these not great country. I can't, my apologies. I don't want to mean to say that and someone take that out of context. But a lot of these large, powerful countries have fallen. America is young. America is a young country when you consider it to the rest of the world and the rest of the globe. So to me, anything is plausible. My hope is that it doesn't. And a lot of you folks that have been watching over the last few years, things seem to be, unfortunately going into a really bad direction. And of course, it's politically driven and things that are being planned per se. Even the news right now, I think, what was number 45's press secretary, Kelly McEnany? I think if I say her name properly, she the other day said, it seems like everything is being done on purpose. So it's just not us with our crazy, prepper mindset. People in mainstream news are starting to notice, like, it's just too coincidental. Like you guys are doing certain things that just doesn't make sense. You're legitimately trying to crash the economy. And then you lie to the American people and fill them full of hope and don't really tell them the truth. What happened to the aspect of telling the truth? Well, when it comes to politicians, I doubt we're ever going to see that anytime soon. Don't get me wrong, folks. There's some people that really do care about the people. But as they stay in politics longer, it's like they almost get tainted. It's almost like they get tainted to a certain situation. William Pence, Rudy will be free tomorrow. He'll be dropping a video, and he will be joining me live Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my channel. So we'll get to see Rudy's face, and then he'll be going live on his channel on Friday as well. For some of the folks that might have missed that in the beginning. What's up, Pilgrim? Good to see you. Hey, Annette. Good to see you as well. Gene Deebs. Good to see you. Yeah, right. Diabetic prepper. That's a good point right there. Oxymoron for a truthful politician. It's unfortunately, it's in human nature for people to want money and power, that greed that kind of drives them. And unfortunately, they may start off as someone who is wholesome, who is good, who has great intentions. But then you have these elites, these powerful lobbyists like Big Tobacco, like Big Pharma, and other lobbyists that kind of push agendas. And they're saying, hey, well, if you're willing to vote this way, we'll add this many millions of dollars to your campaign fund. And I think that's what, clouds our political system is money and greed. And it's just an endless system ever since that how we look at it. And I know I got sidetracked off talking about silver, but I'll backtrack to that now that I'm getting off the politics, is when it regards to silver or gold or any type of precious metals that you may have, some of you folks do want to basically called wealth retention. So if the system was to collapse and you have $10,000 in the bank, right? And the system collapses, be it, the grid, be it a coronal mass ejection, be it an EMP, be it war, be it whatever, a digital currency, things like that, right? And things collapse on itself, you having that precious metal, which if you look at the precious metals all through history, precious metals has always been used as some sort of form of currency, trade, or barter, right? People say, well, you can't eat silver. You can't eat gold. I hear that a lot. And I understand that you can't, but you can trade it for food because there's always someone out there that's going to see, who's going to see that coin. This is not silver, but they're going to see that shiny thing and think, oh, this is very shiny. I want it. And they may trade it for something to that extent. And then you figure, after the collapse of a nation, there has to be rebuilding, right? Be it if other nations come in to help or if that nation starts to rebuild itself, they're going to default to something that holds value like silver. Now, again, I get it. What's up, Rudy? Good to see you. Did you go get your water? Thanks. I appreciate you swinging by. If I had $10,000, it wouldn't be in the bank. Exactly, Minuteman. So this is what I do. I'm not suggesting that you folks do this. This is something that I do personally, is I put the money that I have to pay my bills, in the bank. And then whatever's left over, I transition into food, water, medical. And then after that, I look at my budget. And especially if silver's on sale, I'm going to go invest in that and stock some of that as well. Because let's for instance, and this is hypothetical, if America was to collapse and you wanted to get out of the United States, right? Let's say Mexico still has it together, or Canada, which I probably wouldn't go north because of the temperatures. But anyways, you wanted to go somewhere and they still have some sort of system set up there. You might be able to use that for trade, for a monetary trade, because if the American dollar falls apart and you hand someone $1, they're going to look at you like you're crazy, like that has no value. but that precious metal may still contain value, which then, of course, you can buy, let's say, medicine, food, and other things that you might need. It's just a thought of mine, for folks out there when it comes to the whole silver, you know, the silver, I want to say fight, but the silver topic, the back and forth and who's right, who's wrong. It's really what you want to do. You make the decision. If you want to stock silver, then stock silver, but just don't let it consume you to the point where you're getting low on food or low on medical preps and stuff like that. You want to, diversify your preparedness stuff in general stuff. I guess that's a funny one, but you get what I'm seeing, right? And Michelle, a good point, Michelle, where you said that you feel like we're turning into Venezuela sooner or later. In Venezuela, they use currently precious metals to do simple things like getting haircuts, to exchanging and buying goods. They'll take a piece of gold and have a little scale in the store, and they scrape it off, and it weighs so much, and they say, okay, well, here's a gallon of milk and some eggs. Believe it or not, that's what's happening in some of these countries. So it does give validity to what I'm saying. Because that's just life. And that's how people will always look at precious metals having some sort of monetary or valuable commodity to it. What's up, Texas T? Good to see you. Thank you, Michelle. It makes me feel like I'm not alone, right? Hey, Julie, how you doing tonight? Good to see you as well. Freaky Geek, I can understand that. And when it comes down to bartering, be it if you're bartering stuff like, I don't know, if you're bartering alcohol, caffeine, nicotine, all the things that some people may have a want for, it's what you put value onto it. So if let's say this is a bottle of water, right? And you're in the desert and you have no water and you're dying of thirst, the value of that water to you and your life is probably worth more than gold at that point. And what would you be willing to do for that bottle of water for your survival? So when you look at it that way, you put the value on something like that. It depends on you and the person you're working with in the bartering system and the value that you put on that commodity, be it if it's food or so on and so forth. Let me see here. I'm just trying to look at my, make sure. What's up, D14? Good to see you. Hey, Loretta, how you doing? What's up, Peter Rouse? They are usually mostly barter system. Are you talking about Venezuela, Peter? I'm trying to back up and see if I missed any questions and stuff that might have popped up while I'm sitting here rambling on, which I enjoy doing. I appreciate you guys listening to me ramble on. Prepare Chicagoland. Hello from Chicagoland. Awesome. I always wonder, how folks deal with, it's been a long time since I've lived in a major city like Chicago, New York, LA, and stuff like that. And I love watching prepping channels that are in that environment because how do they deal with the situations that they know that they could arise, be it something as simple as a blackout that lasts more than a couple of weeks, and how the cities react to it and the population in that city reacts to it, because there's so much more people in that city. When you look at population density, the more people, the more chaos ensues usually. Dominic's in Chicago as well. But here's the thing is, what's up, Farmer Son? The good thing is, folks, is regardless of where you're at in the world and what city, if you're rural, if you're in the city, as long as you're trying to, stock some food and prepare for whatever might come down the pipe, per se, or as the balloon goes up, some people like to say, at least you're doing something to provide some sort of security insurance for the well-being of yourself, as well as your family or others that you may be caring for. So I'm proud of anybody. I give credit to anybody out there. If it's a 95-year-old woman and she is putting up a couple extra cans of food in her house, kudos to her. You know what I mean? Some people say, well, she's 95, she can't walk, she's going to die. Why spread that kind of negativity out there? I want to prop people up. I don't want to knock people down. So I'm glad to see that 95-year-old woman or man or whoever it may be, trying to prep. I think everybody should spread that kind of message of positivity when it comes to that. I know some people have asked me, well, I'm blind and I live in New York in a skyrise. What am I going to do? Well, I don't want to tell them that, this is a possibility, this outcome, that outcome, and this outcome. I want to say, well, do what's in your means. And anything that you do is better than doing nothing at all. You know what I mean? Because basically, if you tell someone it's futile no matter what you do, you're going to die. What kind of message is that to those folks? You know what I mean? So I want to kind of push that message of, when it comes to preparedness, positivity, and be like, look, man, I'm glad that you grab some extra medicine, you're doing this, because if, let's say you that's your grandma, wouldn't you want your grandma or your grandfather to have somewhat of a chance, or a possibility that they can hold out long enough to maybe that you get to them, and then bring them to where you're at? There's just always those possibilities, because you just never know. Maybe because they prepped water and they prepped food and they prepped medicine, that they last a little bit longer, just enough time for you to get to them, and save their life. You know what I mean? So these are how I look at things. I don't like to hyper focus on, like, okay, they're old, they're crippled, they're this, they're that. It's useless. They're going to be a drain on my life in a SHTF scenario. It's horrible to think that way. And I know some folks out there, you're welcome to think however you like. But I value life. You know what I mean? And every breathing person on this planet, no matter who they are, I value that. Now, we can turn that and say, well, if they're trying to take my life or they're trying to harm my family, I'm going to take that life. Well, I hope that if you are willing to do that, you are ready. If anybody's ever been in that situation who has taken a life, be it people that have been in the military, or have experienced things in whatever situation you may present yourself in, to see someone take their last breath in front of you is life-changing. And to know that you were the person behind that and why they lost their life, no matter, even if they were trying to put harm onto you, some people, it's hard for them to comprehend and digest that. And they will have a lot of crazy, I don't want to say nightmares, but psychological things that could happen to you. So I'm all about the Second Amendment. You guys know I am stacked to, I'm ready for the end of times, per se, right? From my perspective. And, I'm willing to do whatever it takes for the survivability of my family. But just make sure that you understand moving forward, what that entails. TX Gold Bull says, there is a difference of knowing we all one day and promoting fear porn, saying our death is imminent and coming soon. Yeah. And that's the last thing that I would ever want to push on my channel. It's more about building community, having connections, and spreading information, and sharing information, because, folks, I'll be honest with you, I don't know everything by far. There's no way I could be the know-all, end-all kind of, person. Every day I learn something. Matter of fact, when I was talking to Rudy just a little while ago, I said, Rudy, every time I talk to you on the phone, I learn something. And I feel that way with every conversation that I have. Like in the comment section in the gardening video that I just recently did yesterday, I think it was, people had dropped some comments, and I learned about some new plants that I could grow in my area, which is Zone 9B in Florida. And I was like, wow, thank you for sharing that information. I never thought about growing that in my garden. And if you're having success with it in my area in Florida with this heat, that gives me hope that I can possibly grow that food or whatever it may be as well. So there's a wealth of information to be had outside of just me, the content creator. It's also you, the community, because if it's just me, I have so much information. But if you look at, we have 197 people, 197, 198, depending on what screen I'm looking at, people in chat right now. With that many people here, just think of the wealth of information that we have as a whole versus an individual, and the amount of information that we can share. That's why a lot of times folks will say, Grey, why do you promote the Discord? I have had issues with the Discord. The Discord doesn't work for me. Get a new email, start something scratch. I mean, emails are a dime a dozen. You can create 16 different Gmails if you want. Get on the Discord, exchange ideas, have conversations, share information, learn something, or teach something. You know what I mean? I think Voodoo Queen is still here. And, with her teachings, Casey is in there as well. There's a lot of people. Duke Man is a great gardener. There's so much information to be shared amongst us as a community outside of just watching one video or several videos on YouTube. There's a lot of people that just don't have the time to make videos. They don't have the time to do all this. but they're extremely knowledgeable about a specific topic, be it medicine, be it medicinals, be it how to grow this type of crop. Maybe someone on the Discord is from the same area of Wisconsin or the same area of California that you're in, and you're like, I'm struggling growing this type of tomato, and that person says, well, this is what I've done, and I've had success with that. So being able to share that information is truly a valuable asset when it comes to emergency preparedness and building community. Sorry, I wanted to take a second and look at chat to make sure I didn't miss anything here. And I think, what did I see? Did I see you, Oslander, pop in here? I'm trying to back it up a little bit. I saw Os pop in here. Usually he has good comments. Mrs. Terry, good to see you as well. Tiny Titan, did I say hello to you? I hope I did. And anybody else that I did miss, I want to say hello to every single one of you amazing people to join me and spending a little bit of your time this evening, with myself and the Grey community. What's up, Lily B? I'm in a car waiting at a parking spot. Roger that, Os. I just know I saw you pop in there somewhere. Unknown Vector says, hey, y'all, you can raise worms inside. Good for worm castings, and worms are good for the soil. 100% I agree, Unknown Vector. What's up, Jennifer Cruz? Always good to see you as well. I got you, Jennifer. Before I saw that comment pop up, I got you. Alien Prepper says he misses cow tipping in Wisconsin. It's a funny story, Alien Prepper. Well, how far? We were at we're about 40 minutes in. Thank you, hey, I'm glad you made it, Lily B. When I was about 16 or 15 or 16, we would try to go cow tipping too. The things we were doing when we were young, you know what I mean? We hear this story and like, well, I want to do that. But definitely fun. Daisy, yeah, it's troublesome. A lot of folks, and so Daisy, I'm going to give you, Daisy, you're on the Discord, right? That's why a lot of times I tell people, if you're in the Discord, I'll post in my Grey's videos, I'll post in Content Creator, and I'll post in the main chat room that I'm either going live or I'm dropping a video, because sometimes YouTube will fail to notify you for some reason. Who knows why? I don't understand it. I've tried to understand the whole process and the YouTube notifications and stuff like that. But I just can't figure it out, to be honest with you. So that's why I try to use alternate means of notifying my viewers. But I think we have about a little over 17,000 subscribers. So I'm not sure how to notify everybody that way. I do get a lot of replay views and people that say, wow, I missed the live stream. I wish I would have had time or got notified. I just don't know how to get it out there any better. And what's up, Passamaquoddy? My brothers used to cow tip until a cow let one go in their face. Roger that. Hey, Dale, good to see you as well, man. Thank you for being here. Wolfsbane Hollow. Oh, man. Speaking of which, there's something that did pop up, and thanks for all the thumbs up. I see we got 141 thumbs up. I appreciate that. There's something I did have hitting there. Thank you, JT. I appreciate that, as always. I had something, in regards to why we prep, right? And, outside of, the nuclear devastation that, that some folks will tell you that you need to prep for, which you can, there's some things that you can do for that. But I do want to show a reason why we should prep. This has just happened just recently. I don't know if I saw it in my Discord or not. I know I saw it somewhere, but up in, I think this is, where is that? Michigan. It says the state urges locals to avoid contact with Huron River due to contamination in 2 counties. It says that the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and Environment, Great Lakes and Energy are urging residents to avoid contact with the Huron River in Oakland and Livingston counties. According to the news release, hexavalent chromium has been released from a Wixom wastewater treatment plant located off Charms Road and has been discharged into the river water system. So, AKA, this is why we prep. Because what about if you're living in that area and the benefit is that you have water stored? So a situation like that arises, right? You don't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? Because you're ready for something like that. So this is why I say emergency preparedness goes beyond what some people say, the end of the world type of situation. It goes for every aspect of your life. And that's just one example of being prepared. A lot of reasons why I do a lot of different types of videos in regards to being prepared, not only in your home, but at your job, in your vehicle, because you never know when an emergency is going to present itself. And that's the huge thing, is being prepared. That's why a lot of us either have EDC gear on us, go bags, EDC bags, all the fun stuff when it comes to preparedness, because you never know when that emergency is going to present itself. So you always want to try to be prepared in whatever environment that you're in. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. Thank you, Harvey. Yeah, exactly. It is pretty nasty stuff, my friend. Let me see. Passamaquoddy says, I'm very upset with my youngest sister. She spent $300 on a concert ticket. She don't drive, crying she doesn't have a ride, but don't do a dang thing to prep. She lives 2 hours away from me. $300 on a $300 on a concert ticket. And D14 says, be right back. Canadian Prepper has a Doom video. when is there not a Doom video out somewhere, right? Hey Kelly, how you doing? But yeah, that's to me, that's ridiculous. $300 on a concert ticket. If I want to listen to someone, and I get being in the environment, I get the joy of possibly going to a concert, but for me, I'm not a kid anymore. Right, Passamaquoddy? I just don't see the sense in that. I don't like being in mass crowds. If we've looked at all these crazy things that have happened over the last year or so in regards to the mass shootings that they're being reported everywhere, every day, at this point, from malls to concerts to, sports arenas, and the list goes on. I would never want to be put in that situation, because I know if I go into a concert arena, most of the times they're not going to let you carry your sidearm. They're not going to let you carry specific gear on you. So I would feel naked, per se. I would feel naked putting myself in that environment. So why take that risk? If I want to listen to that person sing, I'll just put it on YouTube or something that extent and enjoy their music. And if I want to support the artist, I'll go, buy something of theirs, maybe a t-shirt or a hat or whatever, you know what I mean? If I'm trying to support that artist, that I'm trying to support via a ticket. But $300 and you don't have a car, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. I'd still go see Winger right on Prepper. Man, I haven't heard Winger in quite some time, man. Is Billy in here? I'm trying to back up to I hear you, fat man. I hear you with that. I'm trying to back up. Where's Billy at? $300 in ammo. Exactly, Billy. Exactly, Billy. $300 in ammo. Shoot, $300 in food. $300 and shoot, I can get an upper or lower for one of my ARs, and some spare parts for that price. You know what I mean? Man, $300. I just can't see doing it. Just like having one of your children come up to you and say, hey mom, or hey dad, for my birthday, I want the brand new Xbox that costs $600-700, and I'm thinking, $600-700 for a machine to play games on? It doesn't make sense to me personally. Maybe I'm a tough dad. I don't know. Freedom Seeds. What's up, South Florida, DCL? Good to see you. And thank you for the information, South Florida. I've been looking into a lot in regards to the ham radio situation, being in our conversation via email. And some people tell me there's a conflict of information. Some people say if you were to use specific bands on a ham radio, they will come for you. Patrick Lee, we cannot do that. We have, unfortunately, this is a family-friendly show, brother. I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you trying to comment, but we cannot kind of talk about that kind of content via here, so my apologies. What's up, Hawkeye? Let me see. Iron Maiden, Slayer, Amon Amrath in 2020 had a blast. Hey, as long as you enjoyed yourself, man, and if it's within your realms of financial spending, in your budget. Viv B says I could can $300 in ground beef. Exactly. You guys are, that's why I love about you folks in here is a lot of us are most of us, 99% of us are like-minded. I had, I do have some people every video that I do, out of the 99 comments, there'll be 1 or 2 comments that are negative. I've learned to brush those off, just brush them off and move forward with that. They're just trying to take away from either the content, they're trying to take away from you, the viewers. They're just trying to take away from the channel. So either I delete it, or I try to have, I drop them a comment and, giving them my perspective, you know what I mean? If it's not too derogatory or too, whatever it is. And sometimes YouTube just flags it and I'll find it in my folder and I read the comment. I'm like, yeah, that was ridiculous anyways. So kudos to YouTube every once in a while for catching things. South Florida, you're absolutely right. After further research, I did look at that. You're right, the emergency bans that the law enforcement and so on and so forth use. So I'm getting better at that education. And South Florida, I will reach out to you once I get all squared away with some other things. Basically, a lot of you folks know I'm getting ready to do a big move here by the end of August. So prepping, moving, and then unpacking is a very complicated dance per se, to make it run smooth. But I do have, where are we at? Sorry, I just wanted to check on the time. Excuse me. I do have a lot of things for you guys. When I move, I plan on doing some things to clean up my YouTube a little bit. I want to have a spot for reviews. I'm going to be doing some raised beds. I'm going to be building a large pantry for food. And I'm going to take you guys along that journey with me as I build out this urban home into a prepper home. And it's nice to have a blank slate to work with and kind of build the things out the way I want to, knowing some of the information that I know now that I've gained over the last 5 years of living in this house, and things that would work better specifically for storage, room, and more. My main thing is to basically get extremely OCD with having an inventory aspect of things. Like a lot of you folks, you guys probably heard of a gentleman by the name of Prepper Nerd, and he has like an inventory system that he uses, and having a ledger of everything that I have. And I want to be able to go, if someone's, let's say the power goes off, I know where every flashlight is, every battery is, if I need this or that, I want to know where that screwdriver is. I want to know where this gas mask is, or whatever it may be. I just want to be extremely organized. And that's what I'm going to try to work into this new home. Never done prepping. I have a ham license class. I think it's October. I know it sounds far away, but that's the only opening they had because they only do it like once a month here in my area. So I've been studying for the test and taking some practice exams, learning about the technology with radios and stuff like that, because I think it's another perspective of emergency preparedness that I want to know. Communications is huge, and understanding how to use those communications effectively and properly could benefit you as well in those situations. Roger that. Oh, you guys are hilarious. I want to get my ham radio license as well. Stealth mode, it's nice to have. You get to learn some different things, because once you get into the ham world of things, and amateur radio side of things, it's quite intriguing. I've been watching a lot of YouTube channels in regards to ham radio, the gear that they use, understanding the antennas and the frequencies and the bands and how to use all that stuff like that, differentiating from, citizens band radio, ham bands, FRS, GMRS, understanding the different watt outputs and how all that plays together, line of sight distances versus, using a walkie-talkie in an urban environment versus a rural environment. So I'm always trying to educate myself to become a better person, to be prepared for anything that happens to come down my way. And the more information that I can learn, I feel like it betters me as a person and as a prepper. Let me see. Let me back out. For the license, Jan, and good point, Jan. I do want to say that if you're going to buy a ham radio, matter of fact, I have a review coming up here in the next few weeks of a couple of radios that were sent to me from a couple of different companies and whatnot. If you buy a ham radio, one thing you do want to do is learn how to use it and test it. And what I mean by testing it, there's certain frequencies that you can use to test it. You know what I mean? Outside of because you can buy radios and listen to them all day without any repercussions. But learning how to use the radio before SHTF happens, because of course, like some of you folks have said, if things go sideways, the FCC is really not going to be bothering you, right? who cares about a ham radio license at that point? Believe it or not, it's actually pretty cheap. But all in all, is that won't be a predicament that you'll be in, and you can use them freely at that point. Now, do remember one thing. Anybody out there, the professional ham radio operators out there, do know how to track people via, within, I think, 15 or about 30 seconds of transmitting, they can track you. Be it they're still a military or some sort of entity that has that capability, they still can track you. So these are things that you want to be aware of, regardless of being licensed or no license, shift or no shift. And what I mean by that is SHTF or no SHTF. So just be aware. Anything that transmits, there's usually someone who can find a way to find where you're at. So if you're on the move and you transmit and you're going to be leaving that area shortly thereafter, and you're going to put yourself distance from that area when you transmit, that could be beneficial to you as well. Now, I'm not an expert on this. These are just some of the things that I hear the ham guys on YouTube talk about. So, it's just, I figured I'd just pass that along. Unknown vector, yes, and I can't say that word, unknown vector, Yauso, the W, that word right there. I can't say it. Are very good ham rigs. Baofeng got good GMRS radio. So, folks, I want to tell you something about the Baofengs. I have a couple of old Baofeng UV5Rs. Those are the most common one you hear in the emergency preparedness. I've noticed that a lot of the Baofengs now, the newer ones, they're following. A lot of them are starting to follow. In order to being sold, they have to have some sort of FCC regulations to them, and they're not as how do I say it, open source as they used to be. You can still do a lot with them, but they've gotten a lot stricter on radios that are being imported to the United States that had the capability to transmit at higher wattages, or power wattages, or wattages. That's right. Right off the wall, prepper. TX Gold Bull. There's some really good ones out there, depending if you want a base station or a portable unit. When it comes to ham radios, I can't think of. There's so many different names that I've been looking at into. Matter of fact, next time, what I'll do is I'll find one of my YouTubers that I watch and talk to him and see what he suggests, because I don't want to give you any suggestions and steer you down the wrong path. I got a lot of. They're not even in here at the moment. But I have a lot of right now. I have what are they called? The Redivis. I have the Baofangs, however you want to call them, Baofangs. Everybody has a different pronunciation. I have Midland radios, and stuff like that. And here's the thing, folks. Some people, I think someone just mentioned that, is in regards to Chinese radios. What I want you to do is to grab your Midland GMRS, your Motorola, or whatever it is. They're made overseas. So no matter how you look at it, when it comes to radios, majority of them are made overseas, because I do get that a lot. They're spying on you. With the technology, the device that you have, because it comes from China. It's hard to find 100% authentic American-made radios, and that being is the parts inside that radio. Some people, they use this false narrative in the aspect of made in America, but it's really, if you look at it, it's made in China, assembled in America. And they slap that made in the USA kind of sticker on that. So be vigilant if that's something that's one of your concerns. But I think at the end of the world, I don't care where it's made of, where it's made at, as long as it's functioning and I can use it for communications. Because you have to look at this. If things really collapse on itself, I was having a conversation with Yarn Prepper earlier, and some people said, I don't want to get this because I don't like it. If you buy food, if you go to, okay, so let's say this, you go out and you find food, right? And you pick up a can of spinach and you're like, oh, I hate spinach. If you're starving, that spinach is probably going to be the best tasting spinach you ever had. So when it comes to a true collapse of everything, no matter what it is, people are going to make those sacrifices and use whatever gear that they have and consume whatever they have available to them. So that's just my piece on that. A lot of people have told me, they don't like this or they don't like that. They won't consume this type of food. I'm a vegetarian, or I'm gluten this or diabetic that and stuff like that. I get it. I do get it. But when it comes to starvation, you're going to make a lot more exceptions than you would assume for your dietary needs. What's up, Big Prep? Good to see you. Infrared Survival says, can I take canned food into Canada? Like if I move to Alaska, anyone know? I wonder, good question, Infrared Survival. I don't know what how they would work. Maybe someone from Canada or someone who's done that before. I don't know if your food will get stopped at customs if you're trying to take a semi load of food, or if you're trying to take a trailer worth of food over the border. Surviving Biden, I appreciate that. I'm going to go ahead and screenshot that really quick. Thank you. And see, this is why I like community, because sorry, I had to screenshot that, but Surviving Biden says, look at Rubicon on YouTube. You can easily convert the UV5R back to the old ways. I appreciate that comment. Viv B says, can now get satellite walkie-talkies, but has a monthly subscription. Viv B, I've pondered that as well in regards to satellite communications, because they can become very useful. I guess the only situation that would arise is if we had some sort of, solar eruption from the sun that would fry all the satellites. I guess then they would become useless. But if you could afford something like that, I think it would be. And you're right, they do take a monthly subscription. I've also noticed if you buy the SIM chips for those satellite phones, you can buy them with a prepaid amount of time on there, and they only some expire, some don't. I suggest people do their research on that. And some when you turn on it and start using it, that's when it starts using your minutes. So there's a lot of variety out there when it comes to sat phones. But for sure, they can come in handy. They're not cheap. You can find some decent ones in the $300 to $500 range, but the really good ones are anywhere from $800 to $1,200 for the phone, just the phone itself. Crazy Prepper Linda, that's funny. That is funny. Yeah, I would assume a lot of people would not. You could probably, I'd rather eat bark off a tree than go that direction. Deacon, you have a good one. A good evening, brother. I got about another 2 minutes here, and then I'm going to wrap it up myself. Diabetic Prepper says, I personally stock every kind of food as well as a diabetic-friendly food. Everyone eats pancakes, rice, and beans, etc. If I run out of mine, I'll eat the other stuff, and that my family eats. Roger that, Diabetic Prepper. I've been there. I've been in your shoes, my friend. I was a diabetic for about 3.5 years, type 2. I've beat it so far. Over the last 4 years now, I have had no signs of diabetes in my life. My A1C's everything is leveled out. I can have a cookie if I want, and it doesn't really affect my sugar. My insulin production is doing pretty good. But I think if in a true SHTF scenario, the amount of work and effort and energy that you're going to be putting out, I think your body will become accustomed to eating carbs at that point, and to the fact that you'll be burning so many carbs and burning so much energy, a lot more than what you would do now in a normal state of mind. Nice. Let me, where's that at? Where'd it go? I want to bring that up. Where's my comment section? Just so everybody knows, Alaska Prepper is finally out of jail. He's been paroled. He's been paroled. So all the folks that missed it from the earlier live stream, before we wrap this up, Rudy will be dropping his video tomorrow, Payday Preps, and on Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live, myself and Alaska Prepper will be hanging out with us on the live stream on Thursday night here on my channel. So please take the time out if you can and join us and support myself and the Alaska Prepper. But don't forget, tomorrow Rudy is dropping a video, his Payday Preps, the OG Alaska Prepper. But that's awesome. Great to hear, brother. Great to hear. Finally out of the clink per se, right? Other than that, folks, I'm trying to look here. I think that's about wraps it up, folks. I'm dropping it time. Oh, so he's dropping it right now, folks. He's dropping that video right now. So please go over there and show support to Rudy. That is awesome. Matter of fact, as soon as I end this live stream here in 1 minute, I'm going to go and watch that video as well. But I want to say thank you to every single one of you amazing people out here for joining me on this live stream. I truly appreciate your time here hanging out with us, myself and the Grey community. I truly appreciate that. Mods, of course, you guys are, the blood that keeps this channel going. I truly appreciate what you guys do as well, and the time that you put into helping with the channel and everything running smoothly. Other than that, folks, I want to say thank you again. And please be safe out there. And remember, folks, you are not alone. Stay safe. God bless. This is GreyMan. I'm out. I'll see you guys on the rebound.